Looking at the bus stop forecast in Athens tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., it will be a cold start to the morning, so definitely send your kids to school bundled up if they are riding to the bus. We are under a high wind effect in some of the regions across the area, including Ross County, Pickaway County, Franklin County, and then all the way up to Carroll County and then down to Monroe County. So this means that there could be fallen power lines and fallen trees. So if you have to drive, be careful when you go anywhere, or it could affect your route. Temperatures have been warm and mild the past few days. Are these warm temperatures here to stay? I'll talk about that in my full forecast, but first, here's a look at stocks of local interest. Now in Athens, we are seeing partly cloudy skies. This area of clouds will move into our region, so clouds will thicken throughout the evening. In Athens last night, we got 0.5 inches of snow. That isn't a lot compared to the 5 to 6 inches of snow in northeastern Ohio. Today we saw lots of sunshine. The high almost reached 80 degrees and there was a light breeze. We are under a winter storm watch under these counties, so if you're in Chillicothe, Columbus, or Newark, that means you will be seeing heavy snow, which could impact road conditions. We are under a ridging pattern, which means we are seeing high pressure move into our area, which is bringing this fair weather that we are seeing. If you see it when you are driving, turn around and don't drown. It is very dangerous to drive through flood waters. Today was a great day for getting some fresh air, but will there be storms in our future? I'll talk about that in my full forecast, but first, here's a look at stocks of local interest.
Alyssa, tonight, what can we expect?
We could expect the roads to get a little bit icy as the temperatures start to cool, since it has been rainy today. So be careful if you start to drive tonight.
Thanks, Alyssa.
We're all done being cooped up in our homes, and if the rain comes, maybe some people will still go outside, walk around, walk around campus,
I know, going out today on the bike path, it's just crazy seeing everyone taking in that first breath of spring.
Right, yep. It's really nice to stay around. Thank you for the weather. Now.
So Alyssa, you mentioned something called grapple. What exactly is that?
So grapple is snow that falls through a warming layer aloft, and then supercooled liquid freezes onto that, so it's like little ice balls.
That is fascinating, and for those of you watching at home, there's your little bit of weather trivia that you can surely use to impress your friends.
Hi, I'm forecaster Alyssa Lanier from the Newswatch Weather Center. Right now in Athens, it is 43 degrees and it is raining outside. Across the region, it is 43 in Athens, 45 in Ripley, 46 in Marietta, 48 in New Martinsville, 43 in Cambridge, all under cloudy skies, and it is snowing and or raining across the region right now. Tonight, hour by hour at 8 p.m. it will be 37 degrees, and there will be a rain-snow mixed chance of 20%, so if you're driving, be careful. At 10 p.m. it will cool to 34 degrees, and that chance of a rain-snow mix will turn into just snow, and there's a 50% chance of snow at 10 p.m. At midnight it will be 31 degrees, and there is still a 20% chance of snow, so not as bad, and there will be overcast skies tonight. Tonight in Athens, the low will be 36 degrees, and there will be a rain-snow mix again. It will be overcast, and the winds will be from the west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles an hour, with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. So it will be a slightly windy evening tonight. Across the region, it will be 26 in Athens, 28 in Ripley, 26 in Marietta, 26 in New Martinsville, and it will be snowy across the region this evening. Looking at your bus stop forecast for tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. it'll be 27 degrees, so definitely bundle up. Send your kids to school in a jacket because it will be very chilly. At 10 a.m. it'll warm slightly to 28 degrees, and there's a 10% chance of snow. There will be flurries off and on tomorrow morning. At noon it'll be 30 degrees, and there will still be overcast skies tomorrow. The high tomorrow in Athens will be 33 degrees, and there's a chance of flurries after noon and a chance of snow from 9 a.m. to noon. So there will be gusts up to 20 miles an hour, and the winds will be from the west at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Across the region, it will be 33 in Athens, 35 in Ripley, 33 in Marietta, and it will be overcast tomorrow. Looking at the upper air aloft, we are seeing this troughing pattern with this pretty strong jet streak. And this jet streak over here, this is where we are seeing the low pressure system moving through, and it will move towards the Pennsylvania and New York area, and it will become stronger by tomorrow, as you can see right here, and then it will start to occlude and dissipate in the New England area. Friday, this stationary front will start to pass through the area, and there is a chance of snow on Friday. Looking at the week ahead, on Thursday it will be 35 degrees and there is a 20% chance of snow. Friday there's a 30% chance of snow all day and it'll be 37 degrees. Saturday it will finally be sunny and it'll be 36 degrees on Saturday. We see some warming on Sunday. It will be 47 degrees and it will be sunny on Sunday as well.
We've talked about snow in winter storms, but what about other wintry precipitation? Forecaster Alyssa Lanier is here to talk about the hazards associated with ice storms.
Yeah, Nicholas, you should be cautious of all winter storms, but ice storms specifically can cause a lot of damage and be very dangerous. Here's how you can prepare.
Ice storms are a type of winter storm where freezing rain is common. Snow will fall through a warm layer aloft, melt, and then fall through a freezing layer near the surface. The droplet cools to below freezing temperatures but doesn't completely freeze, meaning the liquid becomes supercooled.
And so that ice can refreeze in the atmosphere if it does that. That's what we call sleet. If it refreezes when it hits the ground, it's called freezing rain.
The National Weather Service says ice accumulation must be 1/4 of an inch on exposed surfaces to be considered an ice storm. If you get caught in an ice storm, be cautious of black ice when driving or falling branches when walking. Ice accumulation can make branches break when it gets too heavy. Falling branches can block roadways or bring down utility poles. A 1/2 inch of ice accumulation can cause billions of dollars in damage.
The best thing to do is to watch weather forecasts to see if ice is a potential threat with winter weather and avoid driving if possible. But if you have to be out, of course, take more caution when you're driving. Make sure you have an ice scraper in your car that you can clear off your windshield and windows, and also have de-icer present so that you can use that to de-ice doors and other things in your car.
If temperatures are below freezing and it is raining, be very cautious because the water droplets could turn into freezing rain, creating an ice storm.
Always drive with your lights on, running your windshield wipers at a speed that can remove the precipitation away from your car and leave plenty of stopping distance between you and vehicles around you.
Safety must come first. As soon as road conditions become slick, get off the roads as soon as possible to avoid any collisions. I'm forecaster Alyssa Lanier, WOUB News.
150,000 accidents and 500 deaths are caused by ice storms each year. But it's not just the roads that freeze. Winter weather can bring ice to other places too, like rivers. Here's the science behind ice jams.
Ice jams occur in the springtime when a frozen river begins to break apart and melt. Freeze jams occur in the early winter and result in much less flooding.
So ice jams can form for a number of reasons. When we have colder weather in the wintertime, you get ice buildup on the rivers. And then from freeze-thaw action combined with sometimes rainfall, you can get ice jams, but it usually is driven by freeze-thaw action after you've already had ice form.
Ice jams can occur at the Hocking River, so here are some safety tips in case one happens in our area.
Well, the main thing is you always have to be, if there's ice forming on the river and you're starting to see an ice jam form, you just have to keep an eye on it to see what's, how it develops. So it's more of an awareness thing. You have to pay attention as you do develop ice jams.
Another thing to be cautious of is when an ice jam breaks apart. When this occurs, a surge of water can break through the ice and flood areas upstream. Damage to structures and wildlife habitats are another result from ice jams. The Hocking River was relocated by engineers from 1969 to 1971. In the early 60s, the Hocking River flooded and forced people to evacuate their homes and campus. This relocation made it safer for homes around the Hocking River in Athens, and floods do not occur nearly as often.
Yeah, so usually ice jams don't cause a lot of flooding unless you have increased river flows that develop in the river system. Once in a while, with an ice jam, you can get flooding without much flow, but generally speaking, you need to have increased flow. So it usually comes when you have ice breakup or rainfall on a snowpack that's melting, those kind of scenarios.
Monitor the river's water level and ice conditions to be prepared if a flood warning is released by the National Weather Service. I'm forecaster Alyssa Lanier, WOUB News.
Again, the National Weather Service also issues advisories about flooding. Like we mentioned earlier, it is also important to have an emergency plan in place if your home is at risk at flooding.